Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter Show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it here. My name is Eric Lorda, and I'm here with my co-host, Joe Habib. We got a great show for you today. Happy Easter, everybody. Easter Sunday. If you want to call in, 570-530-8316. Let's get it started. DAZN main event. Beeb, Charles Conwell versus Jorge Garcia Perez. What is this? What is this about? What's the matter with you? Get it together. Get it together over there. Jorge Garcia Perez wins a very disputed split decision over Charles Conwell by the scores of 115-113 twice and 115-113 for Conwell. Only one judge had the guts to call this fight like you saw it. Beeb, I don't know what you had. How did you have? How many rounds? What did you have this fight scored as? Beeb, I think you're on mute. Unmute yourself.
I apologize, sir. I mean, you're not going to like what I have to say. That's why you muted me. But let me finish.
Well, hold on. First of all, what did you have the score?
116 to 112.
Perfect. You had it 116
for
to
Perez.
112 for Conwell
for
as
Perez.
well. I had it 9 rounds to 3 for Conwell. How in the world? Conwell, you know what? Let me tell you what. Let me tell you what happens. Every time an Ohio guy gets some shine, gets a little bit of shine, gets ahead, everybody wants to keep him down. And same here. Those judges were awful yesterday, with the exception of one. And I tell you what, I wasn't real crazy about his scorecard either, because I thought it was definitely wider. You're looking at a 9-3, 10-2 fight. How in the world they robbed Conwell of this?
You know who
I'm
I blame?
at a loss.
You want to know who I blame for this? You really want to know?
Who do you blame, B?
You're already smiling because you know. It's you, the Eric Lorda Ohio curse.
How dare you?
Rashid Warren, Jared Anderson.
He was in the Olympics 3 times.
Robert Easter
got robbed.
Adrian Broner.
He got shot.
Charles Conwell.
How's that my fault?
Please, I'm gonna
my boys didn't shoot him.
Don't ever get behind me or hype me up, because I may walk out the door and get hit by a truck because of the Eric Lorda Ohio curse.
Are you kidding me?
You're killing us.
You had the fight scored to 8 rounds to 4 for Conwell.
For the right guy, Perez.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Complete
Perez
robbery.
Garcia.
Complete robbery.
You know what Maestro told me this morning? He goes, when a Hispanic fighter has 2 last names, that Garcia is the father's last name and Perez is the mother's last name. And he goes like this to me. And I didn't know this. Maybe I'm just ignorant here. But he said that it's disrespectful to call him Perez instead of Garcia, because you're calling him by the mother's last name instead of the father's last name. I didn't know that.
I didn't know. I knew I knew that they put like 2 names, the mother's and the father's name. But yeah, I didn't know that it was disrespectful to call him one name versus, you know what I mean?
He was saying, he brought it up this morning when he called me. He said, yeah, they kept calling him Perez. That was disrespectful. They should have called him Garcia. I said, well, I was calling him Perez too. I mean, I didn't mean any disrespect.
Hey,
I mean,
let me tell you this. I call him Perez, period, because he lost and he robbed that win. That's what I call him, Perez. I'm just saying.
It was a pretty good fight, though, to be honest. I thought it was
a real good fight. I thought it was a lot of action to it, man. But
it was competitive.
But I will tell you this, man. Conwell didn't win that fight. He really didn't. I thought that Perez was just busier. Mm-hmm. You know, Conwell was moving forward, but every time they got in those exchanges, man, Perez was getting the better of it. He just was.
Yeah.
Conwell just looked kind of flat compared to what we've seen him before, you know?
The commentators made some great points. I think it was Chris Mannix and Gabe Rosado was saying this, that Conor was just coming forward. He was just loading up, throwing one shot at a time. He really wasn't trying to set up his shots. And then when he got on the inside, he was kind of smothering his work. And even though Perez being the taller, longer guy, he was really lining him up from the outside really well. He was lining him up with the jab and the right hand very well. But then when he got on the inside, it was also throwing some really short, ripping body shots up close, and also with some uppercuts as well. And you would have thought Conwell would have been the guy who had the advantage up close, but he wasn't. And he was being outworked, outmaneuvered, outfought. He was outsmarted, and he was just at a loss on all fronts here, in my opinion. And that's was surprising, even though the fight was some of the rounds were competitive. I still didn't think he did enough to win a lot of those rounds. And I just think he was being outworked, like as you said. And not only that, I thought Perez was landing some good shots, like cleaner shots. A lot of the shots were cleaner, whereas the shots that Conwell was landing, they weren't as flush. They weren't as eye-catching, if you will. So yeah, I was shocked. I think the odds makers had Conwell, I think, at a -1,000 or a -1,100.
Oh, it was insane. Yeah, it was a high. He was a heavy favorite. So
I was shocked. I was shocked going in, but again, Garcia Perez has a lot of experience. He had more experience than Conwell, but Conwell was highly touted, right?
Yeah. Oh, very much so.
Now, in fairness, did he look horrible? No. Maybe Perez was better than most people thought. A lot of the losses on his records were split decision losses. You can make an argument he won the fights he lost to. So I'd like to see a rematch and give him a chance for redemption.
Santero Media, shout out to him. Thank you so much for the stat here. He said that Garcia Perez beat 7 undefeated fighters. Conwell, Johnson, Reyes, William, Castor Sanchez. And Conwell assigned to Golden Boy. Yeah. Listen, but I don't even know it's about protecting anybody. He should have won this fight. There's no reason he couldn't have won this fight. He should have won this fight. Yeah, and maybe this was a step up for him or whatever, but I mean, this is a fight he should have won. There's no excuses here. I mean, he should have absolutely won this.
Perez has 4 losses, and 1, 2, 3 of them are split decisions. So, and they're pretty early in his career too.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, man, but again, I thought that Perez did more work coming in. Like I said, more work on the inside and just outworked him overall,
Yeah.
So, yeah, man.
Let me ask you this. Do you think Conwell was overhyped, or do you think this is just maybe a little bump in the road? It's a learning experience, because I'm not ready to give up on him. I think he's still a good fighter. He's still got potential. He's still got promise. He can bounce back from this.
Look, man. I mean, think about, you go to work every day. Somebody's bound to have an off day. Yeah. And whether it was an off day or whether that guy's just got his number, well, I'd like to find out, man. I would like to see this one run back, because I thought this was good.
It's a good fight.
Yeah, and this is definitely, like I said, man, this is definitely one of those fights that, like I said, I hate rematches, but I think in this case it's probably warranted, because it was a close fight. It really was.
Fight.
It was a close fight.
Split decision.
Yeah. Blue Tang says another Ohio hype job. How dare you? Ohio State won the national championship last year. I'm just saying. And Santero says, yeah, he's still a good fighter. Yeah, he's still a good fighter. It was a close fight. It was a close loss. That's so, right. Yeah, let's bring it back. And you know what? I like this. I like, not that he lost, right? But how we're not writing him off after a loss.
Well, we never do that. Other people do that.
No, I know we never do that. But I mean, like you see a lot, once he loses, he's out.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to give him any, any credit anymore, anything like that. That whole Floyd Mayweather thing, hopefully with Turki Alalshikh at the helm now, it kind of goes by the wayside. You know what I mean? Because he's about fighting fights. And that's what, like Dana White. I mean, how many undefeated people are in the UFC?
Yeah.
Like
And I hate,
0 actually, because John Jones isn't undefeated.
yeah, and I hate to be tribal, but it's almost impossible to not be tribal because you're forced into it nowadays with people on social media. But
Yeah.
most of the people that are criticizing Turki Alalshikh are from the old guard. They're from the Mayweather crew. They're from the PBC acolytes. You know, they're the ones that seem to be criticizing Turki Alalshikh and the whole notion of Dana White coming into boxing. Because if you go on Twitter, all you hear is people, oh, Dana this, Dana that. Like, bro, it's Turki Alalshikh is the guy who's going to be behind it with the cash. So, and everything that he's done so far, right?
They don't forget.
Everything that he's done so far, Turki Alalshikh, I think has been beneficial to the fans. I think all
Absolutely.
The fights, I can't
Absolutely.
complain.
The only move I don't like is the David Benavidez move. When he said that they're going to rematch Better Beeb and
yeah, I would.
I didn't really care for that move. But
I wanted the Benavidez fight too. But if Benavidez gets the winner, or at least he's offered the fight, then I won't mind too much.
Yeah.
Because I don't hate the third fight, but it's not something I'm clamoring for.
I'm not. The two fights were good.
Yeah.
But they were very technical fights.
Yeah.
They weren't like crowd pleasing fights. I'll say that.
Now, what if you said you could have done this 1,000 ways, but you could have said, you know what, Bivol and Bivol and Benavidez fight, and then Better Beef can get the winner. If Bivol beats Benavidez, then you can do the third fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, Omar Rodriguez. See, Beeb, our people remember. We remember.
No, it's beautiful.
Says, come on, Beeb. I remember you going off on Dubois for getting his eye popped out. I saw it. You saw it. And let me tell you what. Let me tell you this. We were all appalled. We were all appalled by it.
I got the guys in the truck right now. They have all the video footage from the old shows, and they can pull it up. They know.
You go right ahead and pull that up.
They know I've been riding with Dubois.
Let me see
for the longest time.
Let me see what kind of AI Photoshop nonsense you pull out of that truck. All right, because I guarantee that's what it is.
Awesome. That was a good one. I can't come back from that one.
And that was the card on DAZN. There was no other fights on there. Somebody's asking me about what was it? Some fighter named Fundora, Gabriela Fundora. They asked me if she should move up in weight. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't ever see her on Brazzers, so I wouldn't know. Did you watch another fight on that? Was there another fight on that card?
There was actually, yeah. It was actually the real main. It was the real main event.
It wasn't the real main event because I watched the real main event. I didn't see any other fights after that. So it must have been the main event.
And it was Gabriel Fundora.
Who?
Sebastian Fundora's sister. She fought Marilyn. I believe the girl's last name
don't even know who it was.
Badillo,
pendejo.
Badillo. You don't pronounce the L's. It's Badillo.
Badillo.
I said Badillo. It's Badillo.
Marilyn Badillo.
There was this lady when we used to do the round table, right? There's this lady named Gail.
You know what? You're never going to hear from that chick again, so don't even worry about it.
Yeah, but there's this lady named Gail that used to be on the round table with us occasionally. And if you ever pronounce some fighter's name wrong, she used to get so mad. Oh my God.
Who is this?
Gail Falkenthal. She's like a writer.
Gail what?
Her name was Falkenthal. She's a writer. Yeah, she's a writer for New York Fights.
Falkenthal or Falkenthal?
Falkenthal, I think it's Falkenthal. It's something like that. I think it's.
She was a writer for who?
New York Fights. And if you ever pronounce someone's name wrong, she gets so angry with you. She like embarrass you. Like, we do this. We cover fights. We should know the pronunciation of the fighters' names. And I was like, okay, you got me. Badillo. So yeah, this girl Marilyn Badillo.
Fuck them all.
she Don't say that. Come on.
I didn't say it.
She's actually a nice lady. I like her. I mean, she's a good woman. I mean, she's a good person. So, yeah. So
Santero says, he says, come on, Eric, youngest woman in undisputed fighter in women's boxing.
Yeah.
There's like 6 of them in there. Who cares? It's like, you going into like a kid full of, how the kids take karate with the little kids and everything like that. It's like you going in there and saying I'm the best one in there. Nothing in there. There's not, there's like 6 people in that division. 3 of them probably got titles.
I'm a dealie. I mean, the girl, come on. No, but she looked, I'm going to be honest with you. That girl looked petrified, man. She looked frightened. She lost every single
That short
round.
chick, who was it? That one short chick in there? Yeah, that girl was like a whole foot taller than her.
Yeah, it was a mismatch. Bro.
Yeah.
How was that the main event? I don't know, but
yeah, how was that the main event?
Yeah. It was bad.
Yeah, seriously, couldn't either one of those chicks cook and clean? Because if not, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. You didn't mention them on here.
The misogyny.
You ought to. The misogyny.
We're going to get canceled, man.
Boxing wants to know if you're okay with those 2-minute rounds they fought. So they fought, what, 20 minutes and crowned an undisputed champion? Is that what they did?
Listen, I don't like 2-minute rounds. I don't.
Doesn't make any sense, right?
I don't like it.
I mean, in the Olympics, you fight 3-minute rounds.
I heard someone tell me before, I'm not going to mention their name. Oh, well, the 2-minute rounds are kind of cool because it makes the fight more action-packed.
Calix said that, wasn't it? Calix is the one that said that. You remember that? I was on the show too. Yeah, Calix.
You're on the show?
Yeah,
that's my buddy. I don't want to throw him under the bus.
Why would you not shout out your friend?
I don't want to throw him under the bus. I just disagree with him. I mean, I
disagree with him too, but I mean, I like him. What's wrong with him?
I think if the rounds were longer, I think you'd see more knockouts because I think girls would get tired.
Yeah,
and a lot of knockouts, not all of them, but we can agree that a lot of knockouts are due to fatigue, right?
For sure.
Because guys get worn down over time.
Yeah.
You give a fighter more time to work with. They have more opportunities as well.
Yep.
So I would argue the sport would be more exciting if there was 3-minute rounds because you'd see more knockouts as a result of it. That's my take on it.
I wish those rounds were 10 seconds. I really do. I don't want to see those fights. They suck, dude. They're all terrible. They're all terrible. And I'll
be honest with you. The majority of them, and I hate to say this, but a lot of them are one-sided.
Speak the truth.
A lot of them are one-sided.
They're not good, are they, Beeb?
Because you don't have the amount of talented fighters like you do with the men.
Did you hear that about the one fight where they pulled that girl out of the concession stand and asked her to come fight? They were like, we don't have a real opponent for her. Let's just bring you out. We'll give you $20. Get in the ring. That happened. I've seen it.
It's funny. You remember Peter McNeely, the guy from
Medfield.
One time I went to a fight. I was in some little small arena, and he's literally fighting this guy with like friggin' Nikes on. Like you could just tell this guy was pulled out of.
He didn't have shoes.
You could just tell this guy was pulled out of a bar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like he didn't even have shoes. You know what I mean? Like no boxing shoes. He just had like gym shoes on.
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
And see, now I know who Gabriel Fondoro is, but I did not know this woman. So there's a lot of women that you're just not going to know because
you know Gabriel Fondoro because she hangs out with Sebastian at his press conferences. That's the only reason we knew her. Yeah. Am I wrong?
I mean, again, I don't dislike women's boxing. I mean, you can't stand it.
That's strong.
I'm not going to say the H word, but you can't even stand it.
And I can tell you this. Watch it. I didn't mind the amateur boxing. Those are 3-minute rounds. My girl Khalif, who won it all. Yeah. I'm just saying.
To each his own, man.
I'm just saying.
I just want you to be happy in life. I want you to enjoy yourself. That's all I care about. If that makes you happy, I want you to please watch it.
And a very heartfelt happy Easter to the Beeb. All right.
Can I just say something too?
Yes.
I was thinking of this the other day because sometimes when I'm taking a shower, I have like epiphanies, right? I just randomly think about things. I know the
family show. You keep remember it's a family show. And I know you're in the shower, and I don't know what you do in the shower. I know we're not going there.
I do that. I do that stuff on the toilet. But now I was in the shower. I had an epiphany, and I said, you know what? Eric and I disagree on a lot of things, but I've been on this show for 9 years, and I've never been on anything for 9 years with one person before in my life. I've never even had relationships 9 years long. So I this relationship even exceeds my relationships with women. Right? And the reason why this relationship works is because we disagree, but we're never disagreeable.
That's right.
And that's a key component of this show. We're going on our 10th year almost, right?
That's insane that it's been that long.
I
had no clue.
Never had a partnership as long as this before in my life. And that's the thing. We disagree, but we're not disagreeable.
Right. You're right.
So that's a good thing.
That is a great thing. That is a great thing.
Why Robbie's going?
That was cold. That was
a mistake.
Uncalled for.
That was off script. I forgot. I shouldn't have said that.
That was so uncalled for. That was really uncalled for. What's the matter with you?
I apologize.
What's the matter with you? Stop it. So who won that fight? Fundora, the tall chick?
Yeah, it was a 7th round stoppage. The poor
girl.
All
right, the tall chicken head won the fight, so we can move on now, right?
Move on, yeah.
They fought, what, 20 minutes and declared themselves
undisputed?
No,
they fought 14 minutes.
14 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Declared themselves undisputed. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. What is the WBC Grand Prix? That's going on like now. What is that?
I hate to say it. I haven't been following it.
I haven't either. Yeah, I haven't either.
It's a tournament that they've had on the Zone, and I just haven't been. Turki Alalshikh's been putting it on, and I'll be honest with you, I just haven't been following it.
Is there any like name fighters in it? I mean, no real names, right?
I haven't really.
It's kind of underdog, kind of like an undercard type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking HLT. He's horrible.
Joe was saying it's worked this long because it's a guy. Are we coming out of the closet?
Please.
That stuff doesn't go on in Ohio, I can tell you that.
This is a business relationship.
I'll tell you what, that stuff doesn't fly here in Ohio. No. Over in Boston, maybe. I don't know. They're very liberal over there. But over here, in the conservative Bible Belt.
You guys are a red state now. You guys used to, it's crazy?
We used to flop back and forth. Yeah, we used to flop back and forth. Yeah.
In 2004, you guys were a swing state. Then I think Obama won Ohio in 2008.
He won. Yeah, he did. He won. I think he won it both times, actually. I thought he did.
Yeah, he won it both times. He won it in 2008 and 2012.
But Trump won Ohio the first time, and he won Ohio the second time as well.
So you guys are red right now, but I don't see you. Let me ask you this, because obviously you live there. Do you see yourselves going blue again, or because you're there? Can you see yourselves going blue?
Yeah,
probably, right?
I think so. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, because
I think a lot of places are going to go blue that weren't necessarily blue before.
I don't think that we have necessarily. Like, there's a lot of states right now that are swing states, but on the like Florida used to be a swing state. Now that's red.
No, that's completely red now.
That's red now.
Completely red. Yeah.
It's funny too. California for years used to be Republican.
Yeah.
And then it changed. I think after the when Clinton won it, that's when 92. That's when it changed.
Yeah, and I think California could still be Republican if they had a candidate come out of California for sure, a Republican candidate.
They may have.
It's not uncommon for them to do Republican governors over there.
Yeah, they may have a Republican. We used to have Republican. Like we're probably the most blue state in the country, but we've had a lot of Republican governors over the years.
Yeah. Which is crazy for Boston or Massachusetts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're very liberal here.
Yeah. All right, on DAZN, Dalton Smith versus Mateo Germain. 12 rounds, junior welterweights. Dalton Smith wins a lopsided unanimous decision, 117-107, 119-105 twice. One-sided fight, Beeb. Smith dropped him multiple times, I think in the second, 11th, and 12th rounds.
Yeah.
Beeb, what were your thoughts on this? Just kind of a blowout fight.
I wasn't really intrigued. Even Josh Warrington, he had a very one-sided fight too. These were, as you like to call, squash matches. They were very one-sided. So.
This is SD Jones versus King Kong Bundy or something like that. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
SD special. Speaking of which, did you see WrestleMania last night?
No, I missed it.
It's on 2 days now. Apparently they got 2 days full
Oh,
of
I'll
this
watch
stuff.
it tonight then.
Yeah, it
I'll watch
starts
it
at like
tonight.
7 or 8 tonight, and it was on 7 or 8 yesterday, man. But yeah, it's like 2 days now.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how much those tickets cost? Can you
Oh,
even
yeah.
fathom how much those tickets for both nights too? Like you can't even go one night. It's got to be both nights now. So
Yeah,
it locks up like your whole weekend.
I'm looking at the results of this Grand Prix, and I guess that this is they're doing the middleweights right now, I believe. Or they're doing
Yeah.
and I don't recognize.
So what are they fighting for exactly?
I,
You know what I'm saying? Like really,
Yeah.
what are you fighting for?
I'm not sure if it's like a trophy, but I don't recognize any of these names, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's right. Turki Alalshikh was there at WrestleMania last night.
Oh, he was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Dana
probably
White
because
was
of probably because of the merger with the
Yeah.
because of with the TKO thing.
Yep.
I-
All right. On the undercard, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I think TKO may promote that Crawford Canelo fight.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I think you might be
You
right
think
because
you think that's going to be on Netflix? What do you think that's going to be?
when does the ESPN thing end? Because they're done. ESPN and UFC are done. I would imagine UFC is going to go to Netflix.
Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano, I think, is on Netflix as well too. That third fight.
Yeah.
To be
I don't think, and you know what? Netflix hates the pay-per-view model. They hate it.
Yeah.
So
like
I mean, they may not be a pay-per-view model. I don't know,
Yeah.
but it may not be. I don't know. We'll see.
Then I told you I heard that rumor that HBO Max may be coming back too.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know like who they would put on.
Yeah. So it's funny. It's funny to see where that everyone's asking where TKO is going to go when it starts, I think in 2026.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure it's going to be on DAZN. Maybe maybe on Netflix. Who knows?
HBO fights used to always be good.
You know why? Because they had obviously they had really good matchups on HBO too, because they didn't just buy any fight.
Right.
But they would also have great production.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
They were the best.
And I thought the announcers, the production and the announcers were always to me better than Showtime. Always.
Yeah.
I
liked Al Bernstein, but I liked how Larry Merchant and Jim Lampley and Max Kellerman kind of gelled together. And you know, Foreman was good. I enjoyed Foreman. I liked Emmanuel Stewart. I thought was great.
Yeah, I liked Emmanuel Stewart a lot.
I was a big fan of Emmanuel Stewart. Roy Jones wasn't bad either. I liked him.
Let's see here. Boxing wants to know, did I watch the women's matches at WrestleMania? I saw the last one, that Charlotte Flair and that other chick, man, that Tiffany chick. Oh man, yeah, I watched that one. Yeah, I watched that one.
She's coming off of a knee injury, right? Charlotte Flair.
I don't know. I didn't look at her knees. I wasn't paying attention to that, man. I wasn't peeping it out that close, where I'm looking at her shoes.
I love it.
You know what I mean? She wore that outfit, so we look at her shoes, There you go. All right. Josh Warrington on the undercard of the Dalton Smith fight versus Asad Asif Khan. Josh Warrington wins a unanimous decision, 99-89, 99-90, and 97-91. Decent showing by Warrington. Knocked Khan down in the 6th round. I think Khan got a point taken away for spitting out his mouthpiece or something like that in the same round.
Yeah.
Listen, this was one-sided, Beeb. This is a one-sided fight. Clearly, Warrington won this fight. But realistically, going forward, is Warrington really at that level anymore?
That's tough.
I mean, he's had 3 out of his last 4 fights he's lost. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, he's coming off, and I mean, he's fought some good guys.
Yeah.
I just don't know how much he has. I don't know that he has anything. I just don't see him at that upper echelon anymore. I don't think he's that guy anymore.
I thought the Kakachi fight was a sound loss.
Yeah.
Get knocked out by Lee Wood.
Lee Wood, yep.
Yeah. He looked the Alberto Lopez fight was kind of close, but I still thought he lost that one too. So all these fights that he's been in there with, and then he had that loss to Mauricio Lara. So
yeah,
it's a tough one, Eric. I mean, it's going to be a tough road back when he goes back to fighting the top guys again.
And you're going to have to. I mean, that's the thing, man. Is that he's trying to come back. He tried to come back fight with Khan, and it went his way. He did a good job and everything like that. But he's going to, once he starts to step it up again, that's, I think, where the interesting fight's going to be. You know what I mean? But I hope they don't put him, they can't really put him back in a title shot, I wouldn't think, anytime soon. But
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? I mean, who knows what they do and what they should do? Probably two different things, you know. But
yeah, you got guys like Raymond Ford, you got Oshaki Foster,
yeah,
you know, Kakachi's still there. I don't know. Can he be champion again?
I don't think so.
Navarrete's now, like, he's up there at 130. You know, he's a formidable guy, a formidable guy at 130 as well. Can he beat any of those guys? I don't know.
I don't know that he can.
I don't think so.
You know?
I wouldn't pick him.
No, I wouldn't either. No.
We'll see.
And let me tell you, okay, so the Ben Whitaker fight, Ben Whitaker versus Liam Cameron, is going to happen at 3 p.m. Eastern time today on Sky TV. Is that on Peacock as well? Is it Peacock?
Robbie says it's on Peacock, but I went on there and I couldn't find it. But then he also said that sometimes they put it on the day of. But I'm not even sure if they still have the deal with Peacock. I have to double check that.
Yeah, Robbie would probably know. We'll bring him on here in a minute. In fact, let's bring him on now. See what he thought. 530, Robert, you're live.
Hello, guys. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
I don't know if that Peacock deal still exists or not, Eric, so I don't know if we're going to get to see that or not.
Yeah. If not, you guys can watch it on Sky TV. And I'm sure it'll be on YouTube after the fact. So Ben Whitaker versus Liam Cameron, Lee Cutler versus Sam Eggington, Frazier Clark versus Ebenezer Tete. Tete?
I got a bone to pick with you, Robert.
Uh-oh.
You always have a bone to pick with me.
Ooh, Robert, coming
You told me yesterday that the Fundora fight wasn't last night, but it was next week. Now,
hey, that's what I heard. That's what I heard.
You talking about those two? Hold on. You talking about those two broads fighting? Who cares? It could be 3 weeks from now, for all I care.
One thing I'm getting sick and tired of you, Robert. What you're doing is putting out these false rumors.
False.
Now, what if I decided?
Give me a break, Joe.
What if I decided that I was going to change plans because I was all prepared to watch that fight, and then you told me about
honey dips coming
next
Joe's
week.
way. I'll tell you that.
What
right
if
now.
I decided to go to Applebee's or something, or go to Publix, take a walk on Revere Beach, because the fight was postponed to next week? Then I would have missed it, right?
And then he would have missed it.
So I think you owe me an apology.
Well, Robert, what do you say to that?
You owe me an apology. You misled me. Misled me.
Don't blame me. Don't blame me. Blame the people at DAZN. They're the one that said it.
Robert, they did not say that. Okay, that's something you're accusing. Allegedly, you're telling me they said that.
Yeah.
All right. So you want to give me an apology or not?
Absolutely not.
That's a horrible quality. You
And
can't admit you made a mistake.
DAZN. Wow, he blamed DAZN.
You made a mistake. You can't admit it.
You're never a failure till you blame somebody else.
That's horrible.
I can't
believe you gave me an apology.
Say it.
Just move on, guys. Just move on.
Can you at least admit you made a mistake? Can you at least you made a mistake?
No, I didn't make no mistake.
He didn't even admit he made a mistake.
Okay. What? Did you watch these two chicks fight?
No.
You didn't watch it?
No.
Because you thought it was going to be on next week, or you just didn't want to watch it?
Because they said it was going to be on next week.
So you didn't see the card?
No.
Wow. So Robert already agrees that Charles Conwell won that fight. He absolutely won that fight, right?
Robert, why didn't you go back?
Should have won that fight, but I didn't see it.
Why didn't you go back and watch it this morning on the replay, Robert?
I haven't done that yet.
Why is that?
But now that I know, that it's
you get one homework assignment every week, Robert. That's to watch the fights, and you blew it off. You came on here without watching the fights.
That I know that
you don't show the respect to the show.
Now that I know that it's fair, I will go back and watch it.
Wait, when did you find out that you made a mistake with the scheduling?
I didn't find out. I just went by what they said during the British broadcast. They said the fight had been moved to next week.
That's weird. Weird. So did you watch the let's see here. The Dalton Smith
I
fight?
watched the British card, Eric.
All right, so you saw Dalton Smith. What were your thoughts on Josh Warrington?
Look, I don't think he's going to be a success because they're talking about matching him up next with Michael Conwell. Now, both of those guys.
You don't think he can beat Conwell?
Their career where we don't know what they have left. So that'll be an interesting fight. But whoever wins that, you have to ask yourself, what do they have left when they decide to reach the upper stages of the level? Because they're competing at 130 or 135. Either division, they're going to have difficult fights. So I don't know what either one of them is going to be able to accomplish.
Yeah, but you don't think he can beat Conor? You don't think he can beat Conor?
It may be one of those fights where the loser goes home kind of thing.
Yeah, but you don't think he can beat Conlon, Robert?
I don't know what Michael Conwell has left either, Joe. That's
I would argue he has less left than Warrington, though. No, or what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you.
I don't know,
but it's
tough.
pretty bad on both sides.
Yeah,
I've never heard of 99, Beeb. I didn't know it was like a big.
Look where you live. You don't have all the great things.
We get the news late. We get the news late.
This is a beautiful state, Massachusetts. We have everything here. We have the Celtics, the most championships. We have the Patriots.
Are they still playing?
We're gonna win the title,
Yes,
Robert. Who's gonna
Cavs
win the
are going to
NBA
win the title, son.
Robert,
Cavs are going to win the title. Who's going to win it, Robert?
Be honest.
No,
Robert.
hey, it's going to be the Boston Celtics.
Dude.
Yeah.
On a repeat?
Yep.
Get out of here. Cavs are winning that title.
We got everything here, man.
I know you're not.
Yeah, they are.
Not.
Robert's usually wrong about the stuff anyway, so we're all good. You picked Kansas City in the Super Bowl.
I talked to.
You picked Kansas City in the Super Bowl. You talked with Beeb's brother, and you both came to the same conclusion that he lives in Boston, so we got to be rooting for the Celtics. It's Matt.
Tell Eric what my brother said to you when you were talking about football.
He said, "I'm one of the few people that he knows that knows a great deal about sports, and he trusts my opinion."
He said that. My brother said that to him because he heard I had Robert on speaker when we were discussing football.
Yeah.
And my brother was listening to him.
And didn't you guys bet on Kansas City? Didn't you guys bet on Kansas City?
No, we didn't bet on Kansas City. Come on.
No,
we sat that one out. We sat that one out. Come on.
Come on. Your brother sat it out? There's no way your brother sat that one out. None.
My brother was right about Florida.
I know for a fact your brother does not sit out big games.
What about Florida? Did you like that pick?
Florida was good. Florida was good.
That was a good one, right?
That was a very good one. Yeah, I had them too.
Did you take them?
I had Florida. Yeah, I took Florida.
All right, so you got to respect. You got to respect.
I do.
You got to respect. Beeb's brother.
I always bet with Beeb's brother.
You got to respect my brother here with the pick.
He needs to have his own. Yeah, Beeb's brother needs. We need to bring him on like big sports pick shows or something like that, man.
Yeah,
because
he's pretty good, my brother.
He's not very good at boxing, but he's good at the other sports.
Yeah, he's really good at the other sports.
Yeah.
You know what he says about boxing? He says it's bagged. He says it's all bagged. That's why he won't bet it.
It's all what?
Bagged.
What does that mean? Fixed or whatever?
Yeah, bagged. Bagged is one of our words in Boston. When we say it's bagged, that means it's fixed.
It's bagged.
It's in the bag. It's in the bag, like it's bagged.
Oh, I gotcha.
You've heard of that before, right, Robbie? When they say something's bagged.
Yes, I have.
You've been around.
He's never heard of that. He's never heard of it. He's just trying to be hip or whatever.
I don't like it when people say that either.
Yeah, he never.
And Eric,
heard of it.
as far a couple of different things here before I go. Number one, this Grand Prix tournament. You're right. You don't know anybody that's in it. We haven't watched it, so.
I hate to say it, Robert. I'm just not interested in it. I'm not interested in it.
Not interested.
I'm not either.
You can put a bunch of chicks on that card. I'm not interested in it.
Yeah.
Eric,
you were asking about the Canelo Crawford fight, and whether it'll be on Netflix. I think
here comes another rumor.
I think it'll be on DAZN. Jake Paul seems to be the only one that has a deal with Netflix as far as the most valuable promotions, and that's why the July card with Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano are going to be on Netflix.
The Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano is going to be on Netflix. Who cares?
Yes.
Who cares? Watching these two chicks fight again for the third time. We've got the same chicks won the fight 2 straight times. What exactly are we watching a third one for?
I'm gonna continue to say this until they actually do it. Women need to fight 3-minute rounds. And I'm
Stop kissing his ass. Stop kissing his ass. You always want to friggin' cowtail to this guy.
Fight 3 minutes in the Olympics. They can fight 3 minutes in the pros.
Name me another sport where you play more in the Olympics, in the amateurs, right? So there's like 3 minutes, and then you get to the pros and it's 2 minutes. Name me another sport who does that.
It doesn't make any sense, Eric.
That's my point. It doesn't make any sense.
And by the way, next week I've got Chris Eubank beating Conor Benn.
Did we ask you yet? You have to wait till we ask you. You can't just
yet.
volunteer information without being queued up.
Yeah.
You got to let us queue. You got to let us queue you up.
Yeah, let me put you back in the queue, Robert. We'll come back to you.
Get him out of here.
Okay.
Get him out of here. He jumped the gun.
Jump the gun, man. I don't offer information until you go to me. I wait till I get the feed. When I'm cutting to the hoop, I wait till I get the feed.
Right. You can't dunk without the ball.
I don't jump up and try to hang on the rim. I wait for the feed.
Omar Rodriguez says, women need to spend 3 intervals in the kitchen with 1 minute to rest in between. That's cold-blooded.
We're going to get in trouble.
I didn't do anything, man. It was all Beeb. All right. So today, Ben Whitaker versus Liam Cameron. Ben Whitaker winning this fight. Beeb, you don't agree, though, do you? You think Liam Cameron's going to win this fight?
It's crazy because Ben Whitaker is a huge favorite. So apparently they must have thought that first fight was a fluke. And to be fair, I watched that fight, and when I watched it, I did think Cameron won 3-2, and it was ridiculous. They made you score the 6th round. They actually rang the bell for the 6th round, but they did. But he was on the ground after the 5th, and he wasn't coming up. But they actually rang the bell, so you had to score the 6th round 10-10. It was ridiculous. But I had Cameron winning 3-2, and round 2 I thought was close, where I could have even given Cameron round 2. But some people thought round 3 was close. So if you gave Whitaker the 3rd round, then you could have had him winning by a point. I think one judge had it 2-2 in 1 round even. So, and one judge had Whitaker winning. So I don't think it's ridiculous to say that maybe the fight could have been a draw, but I most people did think Cameron won that fight, and the tide was turning in his favor. So I did think Cameron won the first fight, and also he was really outworking Whitaker, and for whatever reason, Whitaker just looked uncomfortable in there. Looked uncomfortable. He looked kind of out of sorts because Cameron's kind of like unorthodox. We were talking about this yesterday, Maestro and I, and Cameron reminds me like a Maidana kind of Mayorga, where he just throws punches from unorthodox angles and in unorthodox ways. And I think that unconventional style of his caused Whitaker problems.
Would you bet on Whitaker losing?
Yeah, because you're getting crazy odds. He's a 5-1 favorite.
That is pretty good odds. Yeah, and the fight was close. It wasn't like the fight wasn't close.
When you make a value play on Cameron or no?
I would, yeah.
Yeah, why not?
I think I might. Yeah, I think I might actually.
Yeah, put $5 on him.
5 units, I like to say.
5 units on him.
5 units.
Make $25.
5-star play.
Buy yourself a couple rotisserie chickens at Publix.
Publix. Couple. You're getting one. April 26th in London on DAZN. Chris Eubank versus Conor Benn, the big one. 12 rounds, middleweights. Liam Smith on the undercard versus Aaron McKenna. Anthony Yard versus Lyndon Arthur. Chris Billum Smith versus Brandon Glanton. And Vidal Riley versus Siobhan Clark.
That's a good one.
That is a real good
versus
one.
Clark.
It's a
I
good
like that
card.
one.
I think it's a good card
No,
overall.
it's a pretty good card. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it. I think those are solid fights.
But here's my thing.
Go ahead.
I think this is a mismatch. I've always thought this was a mismatch. Chris Eubank is
I
too
kind of agree
big.
with you.
He's too big for Conor Benn. Conor Benn's just not big. He's going up to where is this middle 160?
Can I tell you something else?
147.
Can I tell you something else? Like, I'm listening to Tony Bellew, and he's trying to sell me on the fact that he thinks that Conor Benn is some masterful boxer. No disrespect. He's a good, decent fighter.
Hey, Bellew's a friend of the show, by the way. I don't want to step on your feet here, but I'm just saying that, you got to show him a little bit of respect here.
The way he was talking about Conor Benn as if he was describing Pernell Whitaker. Do you see Pernell Whitaker in Conor Benn?
I don't see Pernell Whitaker in anyone.
You know what I mean?
Except maybe Floyd Mayweather. Yeah.
Yeah. But, and this is no disrespect to Conor Benn, but like he's talking about him like he's some. And then when he moved up to 154, he had 2 fights at 154. He couldn't even knock those guys out. So all of a sudden,
he's going to have so what's going on between Chris Eubank Jr. and his dad? Because didn't his dad say he wasn't going to be there or be in his corner or some nonsense? I don't know if his
dad's going to, like, Chris Eubank Jr. and I think Ben Shalom, everybody wants the father to be there. He's definitely invited to the fight.
Yeah.
Whether or not he's going to be there or not is a different story. He's not a big fan of the fight for whatever reason. He just doesn't. He's worried about his son still fighting at 160. I think he's worried about the rehydration clause. He does not think the terms of the fight are safe for his son, and he doesn't think his son should take the fight.
He's his dad,
That's his. And I'm not gonna tell him how to feel. As you said, that's his dad. He has every right to feel how he wants to feel about it. I'm not even gonna opine on that. But what I am gonna say is, I think his son, Chris Eubank Jr., really wants him there. I think it would mean a lot to him.
Did you just say opine?
Yeah, it's a word.
What's the matter with you? What's the matter with what?
I am highly educated.
Stop.
I am not going to come on here and dummy down myself just so you can understand me.
It wasn't the fact that I didn't understand you. I was just surprised you used that word. Didn't make any sense right there.
I have a very extensive vocabulary, just so you know.
You got that?
And I communicate with people.
That, by the way.
I communicate with people of all walks of life. Okay, I could be on go to Dorchester right now and hang on the four corners area, and I could chop it up with those guys, or I could sit in a board meeting with counsel.
What about the honey dips at the massage parlor? Can you chop them too?
We have great dialogue.
We got great dialogue.
Great dialogue during those sessions.
20. Inflation hasn't hit there yet. Let me tell you what. Even when it does, it doesn't matter.
We get good deals there.
So I think Chris Eubank wins this fight. I said, I just think it's a mismatch, and hopefully I'm proved wrong.
I think he's going to stop him. I think he's going to knock him out. Now let me ask you this: are you concerned at all with the rehydration clause?
What is the rehydration clause for this fight? What is it? Was it 165 or 170?
I can't remember. I don't know if it's 8 or 10 pounds that he can't put on during the second weigh-in. I think the second weigh-in is going to be in the morning. Does anybody know what the actual? Let me see if I can find out what the actual weight is for the rehydration clause. I want to say it's 8 pounds.
That's a lot. That's not a lot.
But
it's not. 10 pounds. Kadali says it's 10 pounds.
Are you sure? Sure, it's 10 pounds. Okay.
I don't know.
So even if it's 10 pounds, but still, here's the thing. He still has time after the second weigh-in to further rehydrate. But it is kind of a pain in the ass, and it is somewhat stressful that he has to do two. I hate rehydration clauses too. I'm
not a big fan of them either. Either you're going to fight at the weight or you're not going to fight at the weight.
Yeah, you have two,
you know what I mean?
You have to have two weigh-ins for one fight. It's like stupid to me.
You know what? If you feel that strongly about it, weigh in the day of.
Yeah. I mean, I understand why fighters would do it to try to get an advantage, but I just think I hate it. I hate it.
Listen, if they can contract a weight clause and everything, they can contract the same day weigh-in. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're being stupid if you say no. I mean, Seriously, you can contract the same day weigh-in, and if it bothers
I'm
you
not sure.
then come in there.
I'm not sure if the commission would allow the same day weigh-in, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm sure there's a way to work around it, Eric. I mean,
Most commission. I mean, well, depending. I mean, they're in London, so
I think if both fighters agree to it, I'd be curious to see, depending upon the commission, if they would allow it. We'll see. It's an interesting question.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think we both think Eubank wins this fight.
I think Eubank's going to knock him out. Yeah.
He's a big. What are the odds in this fight?
Let's pull him up. I think they're actually, surprisingly enough, I think they're very tight, but we'll pull them up.
Are they really?
Yeah, I'm shocked at how tight they are, but maybe they're concerned with the rehydration clause for
let me see.
For Eubank. I don't know. It's crazy when you don't log into DraftKings for a while. They make you do this fucking verification.
Eubank is minus 165. Conor Benn plus 135. That is
tight, right?
That is tight. Yeah, that's tight. That's the money line. That is tight. That's not a blowout either way.
See if they got any prop bets for that fight. Yeah,
over under is 9.5.
Yeah, so on DraftKings it's 165 for minus 165 for Eubank Jr. and it's a plus
135.
Oh, you said that? Okay, my fault. Let's see if the prop bets are winning method. Chris Eubank Jr.
Eubank Jr. by decision. Wow. So Eubank Jr. by KO, TKO, or DQ, 1 plus 145. By a decision is plus 300.
Yeah, so the odds are telling you they like Eubank by knockout here. And Conor Benn by decision is plus 600. Conor Benn by knockout is a plus 225. I'm gonna be honest with you. I kind of like this knockout proposition here at plus 145, but I'm not against just betting them straight up at a minus 165. It's close enough to even money.
Yeah, I would wait till you see the weigh-ins, guys, before you bet on those.
Yeah,
because I want to see how he looks at the weigh-in. If he looks dry and drawn and everything like that, that rehydration might be a little bit tough for him. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, what are they going to do if he does come in overweight? So what? What are they going to cancel that fight? They're not canceling that fight.
I don't know how much the penalty is.
Ben's not going to refuse that fight.
What I would do if I was him is I would blow the I would do what Danny Jacobs did. I would blow the rehydration clause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
like Floyd had a catch weight, I think, of 144 pounds. What Juan Manuel Marquez?
Yeah, and he didn't even bother with it. He didn't even bother with it.
He paid the penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, he didn't even bother with it, and just went to the restaurant afterwards. He didn't even care about that,
Fuck it. I would blow. Right? I mean, I don't know how much the penalty is per pound. I would blow it.
Depends on how much you're getting, how much the penalty is, and all that. Look at Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia, the other one who blew that,
Yeah. Yeah.
There it is. All right, and that's the fights next week, guys. So the main event right there. And then after that, of course, we got the New York City fight, the Devin Haney, who else is Teofimo, and Ryan Garcia are on that card 2 weeks from now, May 5th.
Yeah.
So be checking that out. Let's see here. News and rumors. Beeb, the fight of the century is now happening. I know everybody out there is excited about it. Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. on June 28th in Anaheim, California. Are we serious? This is awful. I mean, nobody cares about this fight. At least if you're going to do a sideshow, at least make it interesting.
Yeah.
Give me something here. Chavez Jr. was beaten by Anderson Silva, the UFC guy.
He was.
You know what I mean? So he's got nothing left. I just read an article. I think it was on Fight News maybe. Chavez Jr. says, I feel 10 years younger.
Oh, dude, God.
Who cares? Who cares? Like, it's not like this is not a good fight, man. This would be like, who would you rather see? Would you rather see him fighting junior or senior Chavez? I mean, because you know what I'm saying? Like, really,
it's practically the same thing.
Same thing, right? Like, come on, man. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. What's the weight class? It's probably gonna be a cruiserweight. I'm assuming.
I don't even know. Who cares? I saw the headline. I'm just like, come on.
But at this point, we have to understand what Jake Paul's all about now. These these are events now. That's all they are.
Yeah.
That's all they
they're
are.
events. Yeah.
So if someone says that he's not a real boxer, I mean, okay, does he have a boxing license? Yes. So he's technically a boxer per se, but he's not serious about fighting the top guys. He's not serious about really becoming a world champion. So I would argue, yeah, he's a real boxer, but he's not a real world-class fighter.
And he wants to take a shortcut. He wants to have the title given to him. That's why he wants to fight Canelo or Javante. You know what I mean? He wants to have that kind of thing.
And that's another thing. The fact that you wanted to fight a guy who's at 135.
135, yep.
Yeah, that says all you need to know.
Yeah.
That says all you need to know.
Yeah, I agree. This is from ESPN. Heather Hardy, former fighter Heather Hardy. And she was always almost like the male version of Arturo Gatti.
She was,
always in good fights. She was always in, I mean, you'd see her after these fights, she's bloody and everything like that. And she always gave it her all. And she fought in MMA and she gave it her all there too. Ended up having to retire. Last year, a neurologist actually diagnosed her with traumatic brain injury after a 32-fight career. Yeah. The past 18 months have brought, this is from ESPN, the past 18 months have brought erratic behavior and volatile mood swings. She sometimes forgets to eat. Vision and balance issues limited her ability to get around, even when it came to crossing busy streets. Friends and acquaintances both say she's erratic. From Hardy, marijuana and alcohol help the symptoms, Hardy says, despite the medical community's consistent warnings about alcohol's negative effects on people with traumatic brain injury.
Yeah, alcohol's not a good one.
She posted on Instagram on Friday. She posted on Instagram that she has returned to Alcoholics Anonymous.
The marijuana can help with pain. I think from what I've heard, but the alcohol is a no-go.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's tough. It's tough to watch this play out in real time because, I make a lot of fun of women's boxing and everything like that. But, at the end of the day, they're taking shots. They're taking shots to the head. They're taking, it's like they're taking a lot of punishment. And, to see Heather Hardy in the predicament she's in now, and in the same article on ESPN, she even recounted the fact that she's looking at a picture like, 15, 20 years ago of her. And I guess, it was a picture of her and she just kept saying, she wishes she can go back and tell that person in the picture that you're going to be alone in the sense that nobody's going to help you through this. And you know what I mean? Once the boxing's done and all that fame is gone, nobody's going to be there. You have to do it on your own, and that's when you depend on family and friends and everything but your friends that have been with you, and she doesn't have that. That's what it sounded like anyway. And that was it was a tough read, man, because like I said, you never want to see this happen to any boxer. But to watch this, we've watched Heather Hardy since she's came out. You know what I mean? We've seen practically, 90% of her fights. So to watch this happen, to watch her career, and where she's ending up is just heartbreaking, man. And I don't understand why they should have some kind of retirement, some kind of pay. I mean, something, because she didn't make money in her career.
She's probably going to have to go on disability at this point, Eric, because she can't work.
Yeah. She trains fighters at Gleason. She still trains fighters at Gleason's, but she's very limited in like mobility and stuff. So if you guys are ever in New York, stop in New York, get a training session from her, go support her, and I mean, that's the best advice I can give you. But I mean, for working and everything like that, it's going to be a tough road for him, man. And it sucks, Yeah.
And she was not too long ago fighting Amanda Serrano.
Yeah.
And she was 41 years old when she fought her. I don't know why she was still getting licensed because she was getting beat up.
Yeah.
I don't know how, she was passing her physical for her license. I don't know how she was still being licensed to fight.
Again, Mike Tyson got a license in Memphis when no major organization would have given him a license.
So somebody
is always going to license you. Tommy Morrison, after he was purported to have AIDS, got a license in Colorado. There's always somebody who's going to take that. You know what I mean? Always.
So you got all these people want to be activists in the sport and complain about drug testing and this and that. What about stuff like this?
Well,
You
Riddick
know?
Bowe, somebody in the chat just mentioned Riddick Bowe. Riddick Bowe is another one that has some kind of brain injury from boxing or some kind of traumatic injury from boxing.
Yeah.
Bobby Chez was in Mensa. But I think Bobby Chez was more, I don't know if it's to do with fighting or drugs. I don't know.
He had an alcohol problem.
That's what it was. Okay.
And he just got diagnosed with cancer. He had some surgery done on his face.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah, John Scully is a great guy. Former super middleweight boxer from Connecticut.
John Scully, man. Yeah.
Yeah, he did an event to try to help him, like a charity event to try to help him out. So,
Man.
you know, there's a lot of things that people don't really focus on boxing that should be focused on, and they worry about the stupid shit.
Yeah.
And this is why I always have a problem with these people who have their selective outrage. But no one cares. No one cares about this. No one's going to say anything about, well, why did this girl get licensed? No one's going to say, why doesn't boxing have a pension plan? No one's going to say, well, what's going to happen to this woman after her career is over? Right. No one cares. But they're going to argue about stupid shit.
Yes, for sure.
So,
it's the way it is, man.
So
it's awful. Awful the way we treat our ex-fighters. You know what I mean? Really is.
It is.
Bob Arum says Tyson Fury will never fight again. Quote, if I was a betting man, I would say he will never fight again. Arum told BBC Boxing Podcast. Quote, Marvin Hagler had an expression, a rich guy who goes to bed wearing silk pajamas doesn't get up in the morning to do road work. Tyson, this is also from Bob Arum, Tyson, really, I don't think he wants to get up in the morning and do road work and go through the experience of having to train when economically he doesn't have to do it anymore. I think I thought he was going to fight Joshua next because it's just a huge payday, but I don't think that fight carries the kind of payday it once had. But I don't know. English fans are rabid about the boxing.
British fans love that fight.
They love that fight. I would hope Tyson Fury's done. I think he's probably done. Beeb, what do you think?
I think he's done. He's made.
I think he might be done too. Yeah, I think he might be done too. I'm hoping he stays done anyway. There's no reason to come back, right?
No, there's no
reason to come back. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. Happy Easter, everybody. As always, you can catch Joe Habib on X at jhabib1. Find our YouTube channel at ringsidereporter.com, and you can find me on X at ringside73. Guys, we will see you next week, normal time.